Hi everyone. Cloud adoption is an increasing trend among enterprises in today's world. More and more enterprises are moving towards cloud. One of the benefits enterprises are looking to realize is the cost advantage, right? Where they can move to cloud and save the operational and expenses by using the hardware and resources as per their needs. So, cost is an important factor to determine the success of any cloud implementation. But if not looked at carefully, this benefit can suddenly turn into a nightmare for IT teams. One of the challenges we have seen is that enterprises adopt cloud, they provide access to different teams, and when they start looking at their cost consumption, they actually shoot up their budget by multiple times. This happens because the IT teams are the ones who are managing the cost, while the development teams are the ones who are consuming the cloud resources. So that's where there is a need to bridge the gap and move this cost management more towards the development side. Though each of the cloud offers their native cloud solution, which provides all the billing details, resource consumption, but the consumers are mostly the finance teams or the IT teams. This creates a gap where the development teams are not able to see that how their consumption is resulting into the overall cost. Since the accounts are shared by multiple teams, there are multiple accounts managed at the enterprise level. It is very difficult to provide individual teams the access to these billing modules. In order to address this concern, we have come up with a multi-cloud cost management solution that helps us to monitor and track cost usage across different cloud providers. At the same time, the access can be provided to different teams and they are able to view their own data. You can see right now that we have created a summary dashboard across all three clouds, AWS, Azure, and GCP. It provides us a total cumulative expense till date across the three cloud providers with the current month as well as the forecasted cost across the three. We would be able to see. So this is an executive dashboard where the executives can see that what is the consumption across the three cloud providers, right? What is the monthly trend that has been using and which are the most used regions and services across these cloud providers. One of the important things to see here is that it also provides a very important statistics on the tagged and untagged distribution. As a best practice to charge back different teams who are consuming cloud, we need to tag our cloud resources properly. We can actually drill down into any one of these. For example, we can click AWS and we can see AWS specific information where we know that US East 1 is the most used region for the entire account. Then there are services like EC2, RDS, which are consuming majority of the resources. Now, we can similarly drill down into each one of them. We can drill down into specific region or specific instance type as well. That will give us an insight into the overall cloud consumption at the enterprise level. Once you want to drill down into each of these specific things, for example, we want to see that how are we doing on the AWS usage. So we can get into an AWS specific dashboard, start looking at some of these details. We can have multiple accounts. For that there are different accounts that we have, so we know that okay, how different accounts are doing with respect to their consumption. Another important thing that can be deduced is the instance type. So what are the most used instances? So for example, the nano instance or the MX large. So that would help us to plan if we can use these instances as a reserved instances or provide, which can help us in cost optimization. Similarly, we can use a standard tag policies to make sure that all the resources are tagged by the team. That will help us to charge back or distribute cost evenly across the different teams. We can see that currently, right, the tag policies are not well defined. This gives us an improvement area for the development teams to start following the tags. Similarly, if you look at the Azure, it would show the details on different Azure services that are being used. We know that HD Insights is the one which is mostly contributing, and there are different resource groups, right, where we can distribute the cost. The tagging concerns comes into Azure also. So this dashboard not only gives you an insight into the overall cost tracking of different teams, but it will also give you pointers where how you can optimize the cost, right? What kind of best practices you follow. We can identify the regions that are being used. If there are distributed regions, we can see if it can be consolidated, right? We identify the services which are mostly used. We can identify the tag policies, right, which are missing so that we can get towards more and more tagging based cost structure. So in a lot of our engagements, we aim for at least 95 to 98% cost coming from the tagged resources. Also, since we are monitoring it on a continuous basis, we know if there is a sudden spike, right? We know that, okay, which service has caused that spike. So those kind of capabilities can also be built in this platform. Similarly, with the GCP, we are able to see the entire GCP utilization, right? So we know that for GCP, the tax policy is enforced much properly. At least 88% of resources are tagged, right? So this is how you can do an end-to-end monitoring across different cloud providers rather than relying on individual tools for each of the cloud provider. At the same time, we can provide specific access to different teams. For example, let's say for an AWS, if we have a team for cloud practice, we can just restrict their view so that they are able to see that data by applying directly a filter over this dashboard. But everything can be aggregated at the org level, and can a consolidated view can be provided to senior executives to see that how the cloud is being used and whether we are on track to achieve the cost optimization that was one of the business objective for moving to the cloud. This solution has been developed using framework Clara, which is a low code, no code platform that helps us to develop out of the box apps quickly using the native features of connectivity, bi-directional connectivity with different tools.